Hey, welcome back, Binder and Unreal Adventure fans, for another episode of the build-up of Heinous the Adventurall, our 2026 Unreal Adventure project. Since our last episode, I've gutted the Travelall out and I've gotten some parts. Let's all talk about it. All right, well, in our last episode, this thing was full of like rat poop and mouse poop. It stunk, it reeked. Anyways, I've got all the thing gutted out. I pressure washed it, got all the old remnants of the headliner out of it. And I've taken the two back doors off, I've taken the tailgate off, and I've gotten it to where you've seen it here. Not a whole lot of progress in the last month. I bet you kind of were hoping to see more, but it's kind of like, you know, I'm still in the office a bunch this month, and I was really concentrating on getting some parts brought in. And I'm going to talk about those in a minute. But for now, I wanted to go over all the different things that I've found on the Travelall and how already in a month, how some of my plans have changed. All right, well, one thing that I was unexpecting was, well, and sort of expecting, was rust. You know, typical for an old IH. The rat urine that was in this thing, I mean, really did a number. Literally, the front seat mounts, I literally pulled out with my hands and a little bit of pry bar. That's how rotten the spot welds and such had gotten. So pulled that out, pulled the back seat mount out, cleaned up the floors, you know, big hole on the passenger side, pretty decent on the driver's side, got pretty bad rust on the cowl. So for now, I mean, I kind of just went into a holding pattern on that. I've been talking with a buddy of mine online that makes like patch panels for like underneath the cowl and stuff. So I'm working with him to try to get some of those. The floors, I'll probably just do some custom sheet metal work. Been kind of holding just in case I'm going to do some custom floor work for some other reason. I don't think so, but regardless, you know, that's what the floors look like up front. In the back, it's a wood floor, and that came up, man, when I kind of like peeked up open, dude, it was like Indiana Jones where like the bugs were crawling. Man, did I hit an ant nest, like the big old black ants, and it was just crawling under there. Anyways, got out the old black flag and put an end to that canalization there underneath the floor of this thing, but it was able to let me see what's underneath and all that. And, you know, gives me a good perspective. Pulled out the old glass, pulled off the back doors as I found out. I was already just butting into them. I'm going to try to resist to take the front doors off during the build if I can help it. But from now, you know, I left them on, but the back doors, you know, they came off, so I have some room to work around this thing. You might remember on the last episode, I was showing you this back corner was smashed in. So I used Hideous as an anchor, and I used the ComeUp Winch off of the back of a Patriot Scout to actually pull the back bumper out. And I did shot a quick video on our social media pages. And then I did a little quick video of hooked up to the back corner here that was all smashed. And like, that's 17-second video or something. As of today, right now, has already had like 775,000 views and over 6,000 likes. I don't think I've ever had a post blow up such as that, but it's pretty cool. I've pulled this out most of the way. I know this looks like poop down here, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it, as most likely this bottom 4 or 5 inches is going to get like cut off all the way to the wheel well. And with the 42-inch Milestars, when I laid them up against the back, I'll be honest with you, there's not going to be a whole lot of tail overhanging as much as I thought. And I may end up not bobbing this thing. That's my thought right now. I'm a fish, I flip-flop. But as of right now, I don't think I'm going to bob it, but I am still going to cut this roof and move this forward, and I'm going to tell you about that next. All right, so like I said, if I move the back of the roof up to here, one of the things I thought that would be way cool is to have a sliding back window, just like the factory one in the tailgate. Got lucky. I found actually that we had at the shop an old tailgate and a couple, you know, old pieces of glass. And I actually found, because I didn't have it, an original regulator for one of these C-Series Travelalls. And then I found an original regulator for a D-Series Travelall because the motor's the same. And I'm missing the motor. But then I'm like, man, there's nothing worse than putting old obsolete parts into this custom build. So I did a little digging. I went on to LMC online. I actually was digging all over the internet and ended up on LMC, who we bought parts from in the back. And what I found was, out of a full-size Bronco, I found this real nice regulator setup that I'm going to attempt to install on the back panel of this cab that I end up building. So I'll be able to have that, and Got a new modern motor that you can find at pretty much any auto parts store, not some rare obsolete thing. And these are the guides that go on the glass, which, looking at the factory glass, should be no problem to attach these to. So I'm hoping that's what ends up going on. Like I said, plans change all the time, but my goal is to have a sliding powered up and down rear back window in this thing. All right, I also did some digging at the shop because I needed a grill for this thing. So I found the right grill. Perfect, not perfect grill, but perfect for this build. So yeah, 1966 grill, be going on it. And then I've been needing some headers for it. Zaid found me a set of headers. These are Scout 2 ones. I'm going to try and fit them in here. And if I can make it work, I can make it work. If not, my nephew Royce at East's International Harvester has a set. And if I need to pull the uncle card that says you must give that to me, he says I can. So I'm going to try not to, because I know he's got them, you know, planned for a future project. But heck, if I can make these Scout 2 headers work, I'm going to. Okay, one of the other parts I told you that we were going to be putting into this thing was one of the Tremec TR-4050 5-speed transmissions. We did get our Tremecs in, but there's not one in this current box. So what I've got going on is I've got the Tremec at the shop. We went to go put one of our new CPT input shafts into it, and unfortunately, just like stuff happens with new parts, we found they had a flaw in them, the way they were made. So we're having to send those back to have them redone. Not a big deal, just a minor setback. But hopefully in the next episode, maybe a couple episodes down the road, I will have that here and we'll be able to finish showing that to you. One of the things that makes me really happy was to acquire this Ultimate Dana 80 axle. Yes, I said Ultimate. And I said Dana 80 too. So the deal with these is right now Dana's in a transition, and right now a Ultimate 80 with 538s and ARB isn't available currently. However, my good buddy Trevor at WFO Concepts, he's about 5 miles down the road, he actually had one of these, and I found out because my buddy Ken at Dana told me about it. He goes, "Hey Jeff, I know you're looking for an Ultimate Dana 80 with 538s. He goes, call up Trevor, he should have one there for you." And so I did, and I worked out a deal with Trevor. And I also have the Ultimate Dana 60 front axle on order through Trevor at WFO. And hopefully on the next episode, that was due in, and should be able to show that to you. But this thing, I mean, come on, man. 11.25-inch ring and pinion, 4-inch axle tubes that are 5/8 of an inch thick, big old disc brakes, you know, 40 spline chromoly axles. I mean, there's nothing but beef around it. And like I said, I needed an axle this big for the next thing I'm going to show you, and that is the 42-inch Milestar Patagonia MT tires. All right, and here we have the Milestar Patagonia MT tires in a 42-inch flavor with a 17-inch wheel. These things are so big, and basically this whole Travelall build is being based around these 42s. Like when I decided I'm like going to build this Travelall, I want 42s, and so everything, like I said, from all the body work, the suspension, the axles, is all based off of these tires. Milestar was graciously enough to send these to me. They're an awesome company to deal with. These are their standard street tires. They do make them in a black label. However, they didn't have them available at this time, and I need the 42s to build this vehicle with. So I was like, man, I already know. I've run the standard street labels before in Hideous, and I never really, I mean, they're just every bit of a good tire. So I've got these if I want them. They also make these in a 20-inch wheel, and they did have those available in a black label currently, but I wanted to stick with the 17s, and so that's where I'm at. I'm stoked. I've got them here. Again, thank you, Milestar. I can't wait to try these out. I already know, like, rolling them upstairs and downstairs, up the stairs, like, you know, even my 40s are, you know, not bad. You know, you're going up steps. These things, it's actually easier to roll them up. They're so big, it's like they don't even feel the steps down there. So totally stoked about these. This is about the spot where probably this 42-inch spare tire is going to rest itself. You can see that the end of the frame is actually about here. So there's actually no frame in like this section of it. And that was about how much I was going to bob it. But like I said, I don't know. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that at this point. But we'll see. But yeah, you can see 42-inch Milestar in there. Bulkhead's probably going to be about, you know, right up in front of it. Man, I hope this all the maths out. All right, so that's where I'm at so far. It's about, what is today? January 21st, 2nd, somewhere around there. I've got Hideous in the shop getting ready. Going to be heading out to King of the Hammers next week. And while I'm out there, I hope to hook up with Stephen Watson of Off-Road Design. And I'm supposedly should have if all goes to plan, a doubler from him and the transfer case. And what else? Oh, the link suspension. So hopefully he'll have that for me. I've been talking with Evan at Skyjacker, and he's working on getting me the ADX coilovers on this thing, as well as the leaf springs and a couple other things I'm going to need for the suspension. Been dealing with PRP seats. I've got the set of seats already that I won at the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame a couple months back, and I'm going to have another set made so that I have 4 matching seats or close to matching seats for this thing. Got trail ready beadlocks on order as well. Those guys are just awesome. Going to have the same red ring that I've got on Hideous and a couple of the wheels on Patriot Scout. So I'm also going to have the same red rings on this project. That way I can put some fresh rings on Patriot. But they're going to be doing them in gold for me. And their little side company of RAD Valves are going to be sending me a set of their RAD Valves. And what those are the quick deflates that I have on Hideous and the Scout that I really like to use. So they've kicking me down a set of those to install. So I can't wait to get those the trail ready beadlock wheels in and get them mounted up on these Milestar 42-inch tires. While I'm at also King of the Hammers, I'm going to meet up with Greg at Premier Power Welder and get one of his welding kits. So man, that's about it. I think that's about as far as we've gotten in the last month. You know, like I said, it's been about a month since cameraman Joe's holding that camera came out, and he's like, man, we better get another one in before you head out. So we did. You're caught up. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, because next episode I should already be chopping on this thing and have a lot more parts here. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.